Welcome back here to Sarno, the WSK Euro Series, as the breeze starts to pick up, which will play something of an effect for the KZ2 final as they top near on 100 miles an hour in the old money. Well, for our friends watching in the United Kingdom or the United States, that's just over 160 clicks. The breeze is getting quite strong. Prior to the KZ2 final, it's been a brilliant weekend of racing. Another world-class field for this, the three-round WSK Euro Series. Adrien Renaudin, the French driver for the French team CPB Sport in the Saudi Kart, took pole position in Friday's qualifying. But it was another driver who dominated the heats. With that, let's take a look back at qualifying and the heat racing thus far this weekend at Sarno. One of the fastest circuits in the world, Circuito Internazionale Napoli, Renaudin took pole position in qualifying, but the number 8 Charles Leclerc chassis of Matteo Viganò took the first 2 heat wins in dominant fashion from the Birolart team. However, in the third and final heat, he had a gearbox issue, DNF'd, and it hasn't been so easy for the Italian driver from then. Simo Puhalka classified first at the end of the heat racing, and indeed he will start up on the front row of the grid for the final later this afternoon. As spectacular as ever, the KZ2 category at the circuit that they suit so well. The CPB Sport team in the Saudi Kart Sigma chassis, well, they took pole position with Renaudin a 55.381 for the driver from Paris. However, it is the Birolart driver Riccardo Longhi who will line up on pole position for the final. The KZ2 Gearbox Category Final. This is the WSK Euro Series here this afternoon. There are the karts on the grid to the left of your screen. Simo Puhalka, he doesn't start on pole though, he starts on grid 2. And as he had the choice of doing in the pre-final, well, Riccardo Longhi starts on pole but has elected to start to the right of your screen. That is the cleaner racing line. It paid dividends for Puhalka in the pre-final this morning, even though he ultimately finished in second place. Longhi, the reigning vice world champion from 2019, behind his teammate Marijn Kremers, who's here with us this weekend. Marijn helping the Birolart team, who start on the front row of the grid. They are here in force. There is the pole sitter. Sorry, there is grid 2. That's supposed to be Longhi, but we've just told you that they have inverted position. So Simo Puhalka, the left of your screen, traditional pole position, but he has the choice, or Longhi has the choice of starting on the outside of the front row of the grid, as we see in Formula 1 at circuits such as Barcelona or the Red Bull Ring in Austria. So it'll be Simo to the left of your screen, but that is grid 2. He won last weekend at Adria, rounds 3 and rounds 4 of the WSK Supermaster Series. There is Riccardo Longhi, kart number 4. Starts on position 1, the reigning vice world champion, the Birolart team in force this weekend with Longhi. Palomba, it's his home circuit, Irlando. So Leonardo Marcella, Valentino Fritsch from Germany. As you look at Simo Puhalka in kart 1, the Vortex Power Tony kart, starting on the inside front row of the grid. The KZ2 final, over 17 laps, just over 26 kilometers. Kart 3's Giuseppe Palomba. It was in 2018 that Palomba first launched himself onto the scene when he went wheel to wheel with the world champion Marco Ardigo, finishing second on that day on his home circuit. And he's been a force to be reckoned with ever since. This is Adrien Renaudin, kart 20 for CPB Sport. His mechanic, Florent Bizalion, been with him for so many years. They've taken so many victories together, including the Euro Champs, the WSK Final Cup, and that victory at Kristianstad in Sweden in 2017 when he won by 17 seconds. This is Alex Irlando, Kart 5. Grid 5, the KZ2 International Super Cup champion when he won from Benjamin Tornquist Persson on the very final corner of the final lap at Wackersdorf in Germany. Jeremy the Jet Iglesias in the Formula K kart with his mechanic Aldo Fattori, another driver or mechanic combination that have been together for so many years. We tell you this prior to the start of every KZ2 race. As you look at Victor Gustafsson, fastest qualifier last week at Adria, watch Jeremy off the line. He just launches the Formula K kart like a top fuel dragster. Never misses a start. He'll probably prove me wrong with this. He's just so quick at getting away. You look at another driver from here in Napoli, Lorenzo Complese, for the SC Performance team. Didn't have a good run in qualifying, but he's worked his way up into contention. The 15 Vortex-powered Tony kart from the outside of the fourth row of the grid, alongside Victor Gustafsson, the Swede in the 9 Charles Leclerc chassis. He's one spot ahead on the grid, ahead of his teammate Matteo Viganò from the city of Bergamo, who finished third last weekend at Adria, last Saturday in the round 3 Supermaster Series. As the green flag flies, the breeze picks up here at Sarno. The KZ2 final at one of the fastest circuits in the world. The grid looks like this. Longhi on pole alongside Puhaka, Palomba, Renaudin, Irlando Iglesias, Victor Gustafsson, Lorenzo Complese, Matteo Viganò, who won the first 2 heats, is alongside another Birulat, number 7, Leonardo Marceglia. The Ukrainian Slavik Putyatin is alongside another local boy, Ciro Molo, in the 28 CRG. Jean Nomblo, Rocco Tancredi, Valentino Fritsch from Pro Kart Wackersdorf Raceland. It's alongside Giuseppe Fusco, Denia Vasile from Pitești in Romania. The DR kart alongside Thomas Imberg, Fabrizio Rosati, and the driver from the south of Africa, Rodrigo Almeida, the driver from Mozambique, on grid number 20. Lomko, Abramczyk. Then it's Damien Valar, Mihai Munsian, Marco Valenti, another Sicilian driver, Maximilian Paul, another German. Alessio Pacini, a DNF in the pre-final, has to come from grid number 28 alongside Artur Carbonell, and the 2 Dutch drivers on the final row of the grid. Senna van Walstein out of 29, and Stan Pex, who only got as far as pit lane in the pre-final this morning. Stan the man. Kart 32, the Kart Republic, back on grid 30 yesterday in the final heat. He started in the same position and came storming home to finish in 10th place. Stan Pex is alongside Senna van Walstein. The 2 Dutch drivers, Senna is in the 16 Sodi kart, and Stan, the 32 Kart Republic. There is your pole sitter, Riccardo Longhi from Reggio Emilia, in the north of Italy for the Birulat team, the reigning World Championship winning team. 17 laps, just over 26 kilometers, as the temperature creeps up to 33 degrees Celsius here in the Italian summer in the south of Italy at the foot of the still active volcano that is Mount Vesuvius. Stand by for fireworks. As our assistant race director, Mr. Marco Carlino, stands courageously at the front of the field, under the control of our race director, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari, who will control the start. There's Valentino in kart 6 going through to line up on the 8th row of the grid. Simo Puhaka to the left of your screen. Longhi to the right on pole position. This is the WSK Euro Series, the KZ2 final Over 17 laps, 0 to 100 in less than 3 seconds and a top speed of well over 155 k's an hour. We go round one more time, another formation lap. This is not the start. Our race director, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari, not happy with the formation. Says go round again. One more time, boys. The Vega tyres well and truly up to temperature here this afternoon. We look back from the far end of the circuit. Circuito Internazionale Napoli, built back in 1994 with an original track length of just over 600 metres. Now it's got an overall theoretical track distance of more than 2 kilometres. Used for small-scale car racing and motorcycle racing, even Formula 4 and Formula 3 testing as well. Yes, it's that quick, particularly for the KZ2 category. Tailor-made for the 6-speed shifter kart class. Longi in kart 4, anxious to get on with it. Looks as though he didn't appreciate the extra formation lap because he's led them around quite quickly. As the field start to form up once again. Puhaka on the inside. We try one more time. There is Ricardo. Simo behind him will pull to the left of your screen to his right. Palomba on his home circuit. There's Jeremy in the Formula K outside, third row. Watch the Frenchman off the start. Watch the Frenchmen, plural, because Adrien, the fastest qualifier, starts a row in front. Welcome to the WSK Euro Series. Welcome to Sarno, the KZ2 final. We race. Perfect start from Longi. As predicted, Iglesias with a rocket launch, but was tucked into traffic even though the Frenchman is in 4th position on the opening lap of the race. It's a Birolat 1 and 2. Renaud Dan has made a super start as the number 6 Birolat rolls backwards. That's Valentino Fritsch, the German driver, attempting to restart but his way down the field. It's a Birolat 1 and 2. The French drivers in 3 and 4. What a disaster for Puhaka, the Finn in the number 1 Tony Kart, who won the Supermaster Series 7 days ago. Back in 6th place, back in 7th place. He's just been passed by another Tony Kart. We'll tell you who that is in a moment. There they go through. Matteo Viganò in the number 8 Charles Leclerc chassis right up behind the 2 green machines. Splits them, does Viganò. Goes through and takes the 31 Sodi card of Jean Nomblot. Come place, he also loses out. Puhaka recovers somewhat. He's in 6th place. That's Renaud Dan. Behind Palomba and Ricardo Longi is the race leader. The Tony Kart at the bottom of your screen of Mihai Muncien. The Romanian driver retires after just 300 metres. It is Birolat 1 and 2. It is Italy 1 and 2. But the fastest qualifier for CPB Sport, Adrien Renaud Dan in 3rd place. Irlando goes by Jeremy. And Simo Puhaka also puts the French Formula K driver back a spot, back to 6th place. Jeremy launched it into 4th as predicted off the start, but struggling in the opening laps of the race. Now he's got a little bit of a gap back behind him to Lorenzo Complese. We're looking for Matteo Viganò also. The Italian who won the first 2 heats. He's come across the line in 11th place. His teammate in the Charles Leclerc chassis. That's Victor Gustafsson in 9th, and Slavik Putyatin for CPB. The Ukrainian rounds out the 10. Renaud Dan looks superb here this afternoon. His Achilles heel throughout the heats has been the starts, but this time in the final, when it counts, he got a rocket launch. He's in 3rd place. The French driver in the CPB Sport, Sodi Kart Sigma KZ, closes up behind the 2 Birolats of the Italians as Palomba clips the ripple strip. The front right gets airborne. Renaudin will have seen that. He knows he's vulnerable, but he has to hurry because Alex Irlando is coming for him. It's Birolard, 1, 2, and 4. Split by the Saudi of the French driver, Adrien Renaudin. Fastest lap from guess who? Simo Puhaka. The Finn in P5 lays down a 56-1. Down the inside, the Birolard drivers trade positions. Palomba goes in too deep. Adrian's in second place. He took Longi for the lead for all of about 10 metres. Ricardo will not be impressed by that. On his home circuit, he wanted to lead. Take a look at the replay. He was on the marbles. The kart simply would not stop. From 158, 159 k's an hour, had everything locked up. Adrien Renaudin simply says merci beaucoup, and the French driver goes through into second place. Renaudin from Paris in superb form here this afternoon. Splits the Birolards, splits the Italians. The fastest qualifier in second place. They race up the back straight. He gets a slow exit. Palomba tries to take him around the inside, around the outside. Look who's come to play. Simo Puhaka in the number 1 Tony Kart has reeled them in from so far back. He's got Alex Irlando just in front of him. Irlando goes defensive on Puhaka. The Tony Kart looks racy here this afternoon. The battle is on between Palomba and Renaudin as Ricardo Longi skips away. Puhaka, Kart 1, the Vortex-powered Tony Kart. The gap is half a second as Ricardo Longi goes purple in the first sector. He's at his fastest lap. It's sure the opening stages of the race as they complete lap 5. But he's now put in the fastest overall lap. 56 dead for Longi starts to pull away. Palomba will try the inside of Renaudin. Adrian puts it in the middle of the circuit, makes it too difficult. There's Alex Irlando, the 2017 International Super Cup champion. Alex from Simo Puhaka. Jeremy Iglesias trying to drag himself back into this battle. Head of Lorenzo Complese, Victor Gustafsson, Matteo Viganò, and Jean Nomblot. Another French driver in another Saudi kart in position 10. As Puhaka flying the flag for the green team. The WSK Euro Series, which dates back to 2010, the KZ2 category, was then won by Paolo Di Conto, who recently announced his retirement. Former winners also include Lando Norris and KF Jr. in 2013. Max won the Euro Series twice in 2010, 2011. In fact, he won KZ1, he won it 3 times, I'm sorry. In 2013 as well, that's when it was called KZ1. The reigning WSK Euro Series champion, Marco Ardigo, another driver to announce his retirement at the end of 2019, but he is here with the Tony Kart. Watching his driver, Simo Puhaka, run in position 5. Longi now with 9/10 of a second over Renaudin, who's having to defend more than he's chasing the race leader. This is lap number 7 of 17, the KZ2 final, the WSK Euro Series. It's a Birolard from a Saudi kart, and then another 2 machines from the factory of Lissone outside Milan. We'll check the gap. It was 9/10 of a second. It's down to 8/10. So Renaudin pulls back ever so slightly, probably just nothing more than a few centimetres, given they have an average speed of well over 90 k's an hour. That's the average speed, and a top speed in KZ, well, depending on the gearing, the engine, and the slipstream, of between 155 and 163 kilometres an hour. No, I'm not making that up. That is direct from the telemetry from these KZ 125cc gearbox karts that are pushing out near on 50 horsepower. It's the TM leading, TM's plural leading, and Puhaka in the Vortex. Powered Tony Kart in 5th place. This is lap number 8 that they are finishing. Ricardo Longi, super experienced, pulls out another 10 from Renaudin. From being a hectic dogfight, now it's turning into a tactical race. Giuseppe Palomba on his home circuit as Riccardo Longhi skates under brakes from well over 158 k's an hour, braking down into second gear at the hairpin at the far end of the circuit, which, as we mentioned, is also used for motorbike and car racing, and even Formula 4 and Formula 3 testing as well. It is so quick here in Sarno, but the infield, the tight part of the circuit, very technical indeed, and surprisingly narrow, particularly when you're going at this speed. There's Longhi, Renaudin, the French driver, the French team, the French kart here in Italy at the foot of Vesuvius. Renaudin, across the line he comes. The gap now out to 1 second. Riccardo is pulling away. Longhi disappears up the back straight. The WSK Euro Series first round victory is his for the taking here this afternoon. Valentino Fritsch, Thomas Imberg, and Mihai Munsian, the three retirements from this race. You saw the Romanians. A Bandit 29 Tony Kart at the bottom of your screen. Unfortunately, he only travelled about 300 metres in this final, which is still being led by Longhi. Puhaka, what can he do after he dominated last weekend at Adria? Renaudin from Paris in France is losing time to the race leader, Riccardo Longhi. The gap was 1.06 seconds. He puts in a purple lap. It goes out to 1.1. Longhi is pulling away. There's Gustafsson going through. Nomblo and Putyatin. Fine drive from the Ukrainian. He's in 10th place ahead of Chiromolo from the back of the grid. We told you, watch Stampex. From grid 30, the Dutchman up into 12th place. He has passed 18 karts. Stan the man absolutely flying. He's in traffic. His best is a 56.2. Still 0.2 of a second behind Riccardo Longhi, but he's going faster than anybody here this afternoon. Renaudin, the fastest qualifier, in second place. But Palomba on his home circuit can't do anything about the Frenchman. Grabs another gear down into turn one, the slightest of lifts as they throw it ever so slightly sideways down the back straight through the kink, absolutely flat, and then hard braking down through the gearbox. Puhaka in P5 in the background from Iglesias in Complesse. Lorenzo's driving a great race. We get a glimpse of the two green cars, Complesse in the Tony Kart and Iglesias in the 21 Formula K. Jeremy's still in 6th place. There he is, holding off Complesse for SC Performance. Longhi goes through the gap, almost 1.2 seconds. He did a 56.002. The battle is not eventuating here this afternoon. Longhi is simply too good. There are still 5 laps to go. Trying to manage the Vega tyres, which are being tortured here in the sunshine in the south of Italy. On a dry circuit, the temperature 33 degrees Celsius. Track temperature, and another 20 or so to that as well. Palomba trying to find a way past Renaudin. Adrian goes in the middle of the circuit. Kart 20, there are so many CBB Sport Sodi karts here this weekend, almost too many to count. But their boy who took pole position in qualifying with a time of 55.381 from Paris in France, Kart 20, he's in 2nd place. Palomba desperate to try and find a way past. Remember, Giuseppe on the first lap, or the second lap, I'm sorry, actually led the race for all of about 10 metres before he locked up into the hairpin going too deep. 4 laps now remaining. 1.3 seconds. You can see it for yourself. Longhi down into the hairpin turn is in now as Renaudin is still braking. Palomba, Irlando and Puhaka. 3 Birol Arts inside the top 5. Along with the Sodi of Renaudin and the #1 Tony Kart that won 7 days ago at Adria Karting Raceway, the WSK Supermaster Series. This is the first round of the WSK Euro Series. The reigning champion, Marco Ardigo, not racing after announcing his retirement at the end of 2019. We go back to KZ1 in 2013, and the WSK Euro Series was won by Max Verstappen. 2012, it was won by another Dutchman, Jorrit Pex. 2011, Rick Dreesen, the Belgian, won it in a Tony Kart. And in 2010, Jonathan Tonon, the Belgian, won in a max-powered CRG, and Paulo De Conto won KZ2 in the TM Energy, the WSK Euro Series that stretches back to 2010. Ricardo Longhi looking to join the list of winners. The gap still stays at 1.2 seconds. Time is running out as Puhaka closes in on the back of Irlando. And Renaud Dan does enough to defend just from Giuseppe Palomba. Visually, it looks as though they may have just caught Ricardo Longhi just a little bit in that last lap. We'll check the gap next time. Whether Ricardo just missed a gear or a braking point off screen. Adrian has not given up though. 2 laps now remaining. The KZ2 final, the 2020 WSK Euro Series. The gap, well, it stays the same at 1.2 seconds. There's Jeremy. There is Lorenzo and Victor Gustafsson. The Swede going through in 8th place. Stan Pex from the back of the grid into 10th place. There's Stan coming into shot now. What a drive from the Dutchman in the 32 Kart Republic. Stan the man has passed 20 karts here at Sarno this afternoon. What a drive from Stan Pex from grid 30, now into 10th place on this, the penultimate lap of the race. Longhi, Renaud Dan, Palomba, 1, 2, 3. Ricardo has driven a perfect race. He's got 1 lap to victory here this afternoon. This is the final tour of the fastest, one of the most famous circuits in the world, Circuito Internazionale Napoli, simply known as Sarno. Down through the gearbox, Palomba wants to make it at least a Birolard 1 and 2. He's ragged over the ripple strip. Adrian in the middle of the circuit goes defensive. Second place, the fight is not over yet. Palomba driving the wheels off the Birolard #3. Renaud Dan, the fastest qualifier, wants to at least take home 2nd place after qualifying on pole on Friday afternoon. But nobody will catch Ricky. He has driven superbly. 2 corners remain. 14 Birolard. The checkered flag waves. Ricardo Longhi with a sensational victory here this afternoon. Renaud Dan holds off Palomba. The Frenchman across the line in 2nd place. And Giuseppe Palomba on his home circuit comes home in position 3. Faultless performance from Ricardo. Wins the KZ2 final by 1.1 seconds at the end. The fight did not eventuate. Renaud Dan splits the 2 Birolards. Renaud Dan splits the 2 Italians. These are the results. Ricardo Longhi with a well-earned, superb victory here this afternoon. Renaud Dan in 2nd, Palomba 3rd, Puhaka home in 4th place as Jeremy gets by Alex for P5 on the final tour. Irlando 6, Complacent, great drive into 7th. Victor Gustafsson 8, what a drive from Stan Pex. The Dutchman home in 9th, and Jean Nomblo home in 10th place ahead of the Ukrainian. Slavik Putyatin, the Ukrainian, just outside the top 10 in 11th. Faultless drive, perfect victory. Ricardo Longhi, the Birolard, wins this afternoon. It's a Birolard 1-3, it's an Italian 1-3, split by the Frenchman in the CPB Sport. Sodikat, Renaud Dan, home in 2nd place. Stay with us on WSK.IT, the podium presentation for KZ2, the WSK Euro Series from Sarno. We'll be back with the podium in just a moment. Podium here this afternoon for the KZ2 final. The battle that didn't really eventuate. It was a Birrell Art 1 and 3. It was an Italian 1 and 3 split by the Frenchman. And we're just about ready to get underway with the podium presentation for KZ2 here this afternoon. In third place on his home circuit for the Birrell Art racing team in the KZ2 final, it's the Italian Giuseppe Palomba. Second place, the fastest qualifier. He splits the Italians. He splits the Birrell Arts. He's had a brilliant weekend for the CPB Sport Sodi Kart team from France, Adrien Renaudin. A perfect, flawless, faultless drive for the Italian, for the Birrell Art racing team, the winner of the first round of the WSK Euro Series, Riccardo Longhi. Third place in the KZ2 final, Giuseppe Palomba. Second, Adrien Renaudin. And the winner here in Sarno, Riccardo Longhi, and the national anthem of Italia. The podium for the KZ2 final. Third place, Giuseppe Palomba. Second, Adrien Renaudin. And the winner here at Sarno, Riccardo Longhi. Stay with us on WSK.IT, the first round of the WSK Euro Series, the OK final in just a moment.